50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 330. Today is November 8th, 2023, and I'm your host, D-Rock, and joining me, our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta. E, how you doing today, kid?
Dill, we doing great. Got out of work early. Lovely past 2 days in the East Coast. Not too cold. Kind of loving the energy, Dill. Loaded basketball slate, Dill. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's been a nice couple days here on the East Coast. Sunshine's been nice. Not too cold, so hopefully we don't have a cold winter over here. But yeah, Elvis, big show today. We'll recap Sunday night football. Pretty good game. I'll get into the Monday night atrocity that we witnessed between the Jets and the Chargers. New NFL power rankings through week 10. We got Thursday night football. Don't know how you beat the shitter of a Monday, but we got the Bears and Panthers in prime time. So we'll take a look at that, plays and props there. Huge NBA slate and college basketball returned. But Elvis, let's start with Sunday night football. 24-18, the Bengals take care of business at home. The Bengals win outright. Game goes under the total as well. I mean, what the hell? Why didn't anybody tell me Damar Hamlin wasn't going to play? This is just ridiculous. Don't know why he didn't play, but it's unfortunate. He's still minus 105 to win comeback player of the year. That just can't happen. If he doesn't play the rest of the season, there's no way this man could win the award. Am I wrong?
Dill, I'm trying to tell people it's not fair for other players. Let's just simply at that. It's not fair for somebody that went out there coming, off an injury or down year, play 15 plus games and then not win the award. Like, that's just fucked up to them. None against, DeMar personally. It's just, you got to at least play 8 games and I'll be like, I'm okay with it. Half the season. If you give us 9, I'm okay with 9, But if a dude plays 16 and he doesn't win, that's kind of fun.
You're done. Yeah. As for the game, though, it kind of seemed like another slow start for the Bills. They only scored that one touchdown in the first half. They come out, only kick a field goal, and then they try to make a late push. But Josh Allen, I didn't think he played all that bad, 26 for 38. He did lead the team in rushing. And we say for the duration of this podcast, 330 episodes, the Bills have always had a rushing problem. They've never addressed it. James Cook, I don't know if he's the guy. I think he's a good catching the ball out of the backfield, but didn't have that good of a game running the ball. Stephon Diggs, he had an okay game. Dalton Kincaid, but I feel like they're really missing Dawson Knox. We'll touch on the Bengals in a sec, but Bills, offensively, what's going on now? Now just 5-4.
Dill, I think the main source, Dill, I think it's the slow starts, How many times have me and you came up here and said, Buffalo, another slow start? We've been saying this since the Jacksonville game, Dill. So, that's my main concern. I understand the rushing game, was lackluster, Sunday night, only 68 total, 44 of them came from Josh Allen. That's not a recipe for success. Let's just be real, people. But like you said, Josh Allen didn't play a bad game. He had that one bad pick. It was a bad throw. But other than that, I think he made a couple great plays. It's just like you said. It's just the running game is not there, and I feel like when Josh Allen is at his best is when the running game is backing up right there with him. So give credit to Cincinnati, but they'll flat out. Buffalo just keeps coming out flat in the first half. Like you said, just one touchdown. You're not going to win a game scoring one touchdown the first half against, these upper echelons AFC teams. You're not.
And Cincinnati.
Especially on the road. You know?
Especially against a Cincinnati team that I can admit they're back. They're good.
They're officially back contenders.
Yeah, they've won 4 in a row now. Joe Burrow looks phenomenal. 2
Healthy.
tutties, no interceptions, 109 QBR. He only completed 13 passes. Didn't have the running game going. Joe Mixon didn't have that good of a game, but other than that, T. Higgins, he led the show. They kind of locked up Jamar Chase, but Drew Sample, he had the touchdown. Irv Smith Jr. had a touchdown. So kind of spreading the ball around Joe Burrow. Tyler Boyd had 3 catches, but what are you seeing from this Bengal? Because they started off, it was 14-7 going into the second quarter. It was actually 21-7 going into halftime. They kind of halted a little bit in the second half, but they did kick that late field goal to put them up. But yeah, this Bengal team, man, they're legit. They're back.
They're officially back. It was all Joe Burrow's calf, We saw it. We saw him first 2 weeks this season. We saw him the last 2 against the 49ers and against the Bills. Both teams were pretty good. And we saw Joe Burrow at his best last week. Almost perfect. 19 completion straight. Now this week, 31 for 44. Basically 350 passing on this. Even though they don't got Manalo in the middle linebacker spot, they're still a pretty good defense. And Joe Burrow was able to tear them apart, especially in the first half, And like you said, without the running game, Joe Mixon has been having a pretty good season. They only have 54 total rushing yards. That's and the fact that they were still able to win this game, I understand the final score doesn't look at it, but me and you watched the game. It was a convincing win, So yeah. I just want to give credit to Joe Burrow. We saw Jamar Chase laying on his back, a little worried about if it's going to be like a lagging injury moving forward on his back because you never know. So he is listed as questionable moving forward, but that's the only thing I could say that's downfall. The defense played great, much better than I anticipated. It's Jamar Chase back injury is going to be a bigger deal moving forward than we expected to be. That's my only concern.
Initial thoughts, I thought he just aired himself out landing, but he kind of had the pad on it the whole game, the rest of the game. So he obviously didn't look the same. So hopefully he'll be all right. He is questionable day to day. I do think he'll thug it out.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Yeah. But is he going to be Jamar Chase when he had 2 weeks ago? That's the question.
Thankfully, they have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd is solid. I think
he's a legit player.
He gets disrespected just because Higgins and Jamar Chase are like 1A. But Higgins, any other team, he'll be a 1A or solid second option.
100%. E. Let's go to Monday.
Dill, I started off. Dill, Chargers win the game 27-6. Justin Herbert wasn't an impressive game. Yes, he got the win, but 16 for 35, 16 for 30, 0 touchdowns. Not impressive to me. The fact that he had no turnovers, a little surprising there. The fact that the Jets defense all season long, we saw it against Patty, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, all at MetLife, turned the quarterback over. They wasn't able to turn over Justin Herbert. I was surprised about that. The running game didn't really get going. I feel like your defense played pretty well to win the game. If you look at the total yards, it's 130 passing, 84 on the ground. That's a successful defensive day. So I feel like the defense played well. Give credit to the Chargers front line. I feel like they brought a lot of pressure to Zach Wilson. That the offensive line, it looked bad, I understand they got home for 6 sacks, right? But no, 8 sacks. I'm gonna say 5 were his, 3 was the offensive line's fault. Because, like, on the strip sack with Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa. He only had a second and a half because Bosa was on his lap within a second. It's less than 2 seconds still. So, not all his fault, but I will say this was, eye-opening game for Zach Wilson just because it was a winnable game. You had the kids drop back, throw it 50 times basically. Wasn't really a threat. I understand he threw for 260, but what was the key? No touchdowns. The fact that y'all wasn't able to put up points on the board. I understand the Chargers defense is pretty good, but they're not that good, Dill. The fact that they got 8 sacks, that's too many. I feel like the offensive line let y'all down, but at the end of the day, we know what Zach Wilson's ceiling is, Dill.
Anything else before I go on my tangent? Because I've had it.
Good win for the Chargers. Their defense.
Is it though?
No, they won by 21. That's what I'm going to say good. If they walk out of there 17-6, just a win. But, because they won by 21 at the end of the day. Defense did, even though Zach Wilson, their defense did show out. You gotta admit that, you know.
Yeah, we'll get to the power rankings after this, but I dropped the Jets into the bottom 5. They're a bottom 5 team. I mean, if you can't score a touchdown, you don't deserve to be up there. The coaching staff, horrendous. Nathaniel Hackett, one of the worst games called I've ever seen in my life. Penalties, Garrett Wilson, just blocking the back when you have a big play. It's just demoralizing. Strip sack fumble. You have Brees Hall can't catch a pitch. I mean, the defense, you want to talk about the defense? They're soft. The defense in the first half missed about 8 tackles. The punt return, that just can't happen. We talk about special teams. We talk about defense being a top 5 defense. They're a bottom 5 defense. They were awful all night. I don't care they got home. They got 5-6 sacks on Justin Herbert. That's not impressive at all. The coaching staff, the play calling, it looked like Adam Gase out there. I'm not even overreacting. It looked like I was watching Adam Gates on top of that. They were undisciplined penalties, dumb penalties. Before pre-snap penalties. That just can't happen before the ball is even snapped. That just can't happen. You know, I feel like the Jets are in a very tough situation right now because I feel like they're kind of hung on trying to make a change with Zach Wilson. But, you know, you got Tim Boyd, you got Trevor Siemian. It's just, I agree with you. It wasn't all Zach's fault. I will say that. It was bad offensive line. I went back and watched. There were 7 drops. Alan Lazard is a bum. Paying him $40 million and he leads the league in drops. He's worse than Kadarius Toney, Elvis. That just can't happen. We're paying this man. We're paying Randall Cobb $1 million or $2 million. We're paying Alan Lazard $40 million. Mike White is getting $8 million in Minnesota, in Miami to do nothing. We should have re-signed him. Like, it's just bad. Offensive line is atrocious. Mikael Becton, that was one of the worst draft picks in the world. He is getting exposed every day. I understand we got third stringers and we got practice squad guys on the offensive line, but it's just bad penalties, bad coaching, bad offensive line, bad quarterback play. That's a recipe for a disaster, and that's what we saw. You know, listen to this, Elvis. I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent right now. But, like, Aiden O'Connell from the Raiders, he's a rookie, and he put up 30 points. You have Joshua Dobbs against the Cardinals in the beginning of the season put up numbers. And then on 4 days, he didn't even know the fucking player's name, and he didn't even know the book, and he's out here winning games on the road. And then you have Tyson Bagent on the Bears. They all look like they have more efficient offenses than the New York Jets. How? Can you explain it to me? Because for 3.5 days or 2.5 days, I've been trying to fucking wrap my head around it. How do those guys have success over Zach Wilson, who's been in the league for multiple years now? How?
Dill, to be honest, I can't answer that because, you know, to be honest,
because
those teams, you know, Tyler with the Bears scored 17 points against a very hard place to play and a good defensive team in New Orleans Saints. I don't see y'all putting up 17 points against the Saints in the Super Bowl.
We can't put up 7. What are we talking about, E?
And then with the Raiders, to be honest, that kid had a pretty good day, Dill. I'm gonna give credit to him. You know,
even you said it yourself while we were watching the game. The Giants have an okay defense. It's not like they're a bottom of the 5 defense.
Still, but we saw the matchup. We saw the matchup the week prior. You was able to win the game. What? Because of what? Your defensive side was able to keep you in the game, and Zach Wilson was able to make a couple throws to put you over the top and win the game.
Speaking of defenses, I don't want to say they were awful in the first half. They were
first
awful.
half. Special teams.
Quincy Williams was non-existent at all. I saw him in like 3 plays. But we did hold Justin Herbert to 136 yards, his lowest of his career.
Impressive.
That's impressive. Austin Eckler only gained 47 yards. That's about
impressive
3.5 yards. Yes.
And
but they lost by 21, E.
But those 2 touchdowns that he got were given. They were all penalized touchdowns. The only reason they got to the 1 yard line off of penalties, so I understand the frustration. You're correct, but their defense played solid, Dill. Those 2 touchdowns came off penalties. The first touchdown game was a punt return.
Yeah.
You can hang your hat on that.
Yeah. The
You can
second one
hang
was
your
the
hat on
fumble
that.
on a short field.
The only reason you and many Jets fans out there are just pissed off about that game because you all know it was a winnable game.
Yeah.
I understand the final score was 27-6, but that was a winnable game.
Watching the game, Elvis, if you didn't know the numbers in depth like we do, you would think the Chargers had the better defense.
Yeah. Also, you was in the game with 8 minutes left in the fourth. Like, you was in the game to about, 5-6 minutes left in the fourth. You was in the game. It's just
disgusting. I mean, if I was Robert Salah, it's quite remarkable, to be honest. I'd be fuming in the like. You could take. I made my Twitter and Instagram picture Robert Salah's face because that's how I felt. Like, I was just disgusted with the offense, with the defense, and I posed this question to you. I wanted to mention, I made a quick note. Alan Lazard, he leads all qualified receivers with 21% drop rate this season. Randall Cobb, 40% drop rate. That's the worst in all receivers this year. The Jets arguably have one receiver in the top 15, Garrett Wilson. Other than that, the room is embarrassing. Mecole Hardman didn't even play. You went and traded for the guy or signed. Yeah, you traded for him and got nothing. The guy's winding up back in Kansas City. It's just, I don't understand how this happens. Like I mentioned it, they both have 30 starts. Trevor Siemian and Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has 20 touchdowns. Trevor Siemian has 42. I asked you, at a certain point, if I'm Robert Salah, you'd have to think there's pressure coming from top. My job is hanging on Zach Wilson, and I'm thinking fast. It's worth a shot to put Trevor Siemian out there. Am I wrong?
Still, you're not, just because, you're a 4-4 team. You're live. You're in position to make the playoffs. I understand there's speculations Aaron Rodgers is coming back. But let's just say he's not. This team, the way it's constructed, can make the playoffs with the right quarterback. It don't have to be Aaron Rodgers. I think even Zach Wilson at his best could lead this team to the playoffs. It's just he's not consistent enough. Can Trevor Siemian make enough plays? Like Mike White last year, though. He made, for 3-game stretch, 4-game stretch, he was fucking lighting it up. Can Trevor Siemian come in and bring that in? Just sauce it up for like 3-4 games, Dill, and put you in position to make the playoffs. That's the thing. So I agree with the change, Dill. You definitely got to do something just because, Dill, you're 4-4. It's not like you're out of it. You're a 500 team. And the AFC, we know, is very top-heavy, but that 6 and 7 spot, besides the AFC North, Dill, you could possibly make it. You could possibly make it if you keep it forward. And, Dill, one quick stat at you. Just so you don't feel terrible. It sucks, but you ain't the only one. C.J. Stroud threw 5 touchdowns on Sunday, Dill. We saw it. That's your boy. The New York Giants only have 5 passing touchdowns all seasons. Do you know who's the other team?
Panthers.
Your New York Jets. So Zach Wilson only has 5 touchdown throws all season, Dill. C.J. threw 5 Sunday.
I'm just lost for words, man. It's just frustration after frustration, and it's a poverty organization. They have no accountability, no heart. Over the last 25 games, if the Jets have just averaged 23 points per game, and I know that's a lot for them, but if they did, do you know what their record would be?
What, last 25 games?
Yeah, if they averaged 23 points a game,
21-4.
That's why you're the guru. Great job. And when I saw that, it makes sense because our defense is playing well when we're not. It's all self-inflicted wounds, Elvis. Turning the ball over, giving it on a short field. The defense can't get a break. We have 2 top 5 corners, 2 top 5 linebackers. Our defensive line, Breece Huff is just an animal. I mean, he's getting better and better. Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen Williams. The line is not an issue at all. Safeties are okay, but I just think we missed a lot of tackles that we usually don't miss early in the game. I don't know. Where do we go from here? You're talking about possibly play. I'm going to pull the Herm Edwards. Playoffs! Don't ever say playoffs because this team is not equipped to make playoffs. They can't even score a touchdown, Elvis. Like, I appreciate you trying to be spinning it positive for me, but there was no positives that you could come out of this game and be like, well, they did this okay. They did this all right. We could move going. And then we got primetime this Sunday night. Oh, my. They need to flex them out of primetime, please. Anything before, because I'm done with this team, man.
I just want the listeners to understand that Dylan is a lifelong Jets fan. So all the frustration he's letting out is not just from Monday. It's 28 years of frustration, and it's just the same cycle. You know, there's hope. 3 games straight, and then you lay a fucking egg like that. He's tired of it, people. He's tired of it, and we just gotta let him beat. It's okay.
Let's get to these rankings. I'll let you start.
Let's start it off, Dill. Let's start it off, Dill. The Dream Wagers top 10 power rankings. Let's start it off. Dill, number 1. I'm gonna give it to you hot. Fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah, Dill, I can't. Dill, the Eagles are just the best team in football right now. Right now, I got to give it to them, Dill. You know, Jalen Hurts playing at a level. AJ Brown didn't go for $125, but he's still playing at elite level. Dallas Goedert getting hurt. Little worried me just because, might ruin the mesh a little bit, but Dill, that defense is getting better and healthier week in and week out, and that offensive floor. And give me the Eagles at number 1.
Real quick, I don't want to backtrack, but Adam Schefter just tweeted Jamar Chase hasn't practiced all week to his back. He is listed as questionable. Yeah. So anyway, couldn't agree more. Eagles number 1, big win at home. You knew it was going to be a grinder of a game. Dallas played actually really much better than I anticipated, but that defense, it's clicking. And AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts is still a little banged up, but he's a fucking dog. He's continuing to thug it out. And I think they're the most, like I said it last pod, Elvis, when we were making our plays. I think the Eagles are the most complete team. I think they're the best team in the league right now. I got to give it to them. They're going into their bye at a much needed time. Jalen Hurts needs this week off.
Yeah. And real quick, though, I know a lot of people say, oh, Dak threw for 384 on them. Yeah, but the key stack, people, 3 first and goals, 6 points in the fourth quarter.
And also we've talked about this the whole season. Their secondary and linebacker crew is banged up. What was the one issue that the Jets don't want to bring them up because it is their only loss? What did the Jets do that was successful against this defense? Across the middle. What was Dallas doing? Across the middle. You could hurt the Eagles with their linebackers and their secondary. So if Zach Wilson and Dak Prescott could throw for 300, I think Zach did like two something, but there are holes in this defense. So it doesn't surprise me that Dak, who's much better than Zach Wilson, threw for almost 400 yards, but they didn't convert. You said, when they got into the red zone, they didn't cash in.
Exactly, Dill. Number 2, right now, 1 and 2 is my Super Bowl matchup. Dill, give me the Baltimore Ravens, Dill. What more could we say? Lamar might be having a better season than the MVP season. Has a higher completion percentage. He's running the ball less. He's more accurate. Dill, the defense is a top 3 defense. I'm not saying 5 no more, people. It's a top 3 defense, and it might not be 3. Give me the Baltimore Ravens at number 2.
At number 2, give me the Kansas City Chiefs. Big win in a neutral site across the river in Germany. They started out really good, and to be honest, I thought they were going to blow them out, but the offense kind of halted, and when you take away Travis Kelce, they do become a little one-dimensional. I think they need to get back to running the ball a little more with Isaiah Pacheco to, free up the wide receivers, but Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and to be honest, we say it week in and week out, this defense is legit, holding a very potent and explosive offense to just 14 points. I think that's very impressive. Still think they're the team to beat in the AFC. Give me the Chiefs at number 2.
Dill, give me the Kansas City Chiefs at number 3. I can't disagree with you anymore, Dill. It's just, the past few weeks, Baltimore has been dominant. The Chiefs have, the one slip up against I'm gonna say a below average team against Denver, Dill. But like you said, that defense, that's the most impressive thing of them all. The defense is a top 10 defense, and then with the offense, we know what Patty Mahomes represents. Still, it's just I feel like in the receiving core, they're lacking just a tad. Travis Kelce has to have a monster game. Still, give me the Kansas City Chiefs at number 3.
Yeah, for number 3, I have the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, what this team is doing, their defense is one of the best defenses in the league. And what they're doing to winning teams, they won by 30 against Seattle. They win by 25 against Baltimore, against Cleveland. They win by 32 against Detroit. I mean, they're not just winning these games. They're blowing teams out, like winning teams. They're outscoring them by almost 90 points, winning teams. So it's very impressive. I agree. I think Lamar is having a better year than his MVP year. So, I mean, you've hit this since July, Elvis. You called it. I don't think anyone was in front of this. So when you credit everything, credit the Dream Wager, because, I mean, Elvis has been on this from day one, but I'm running out of good things to say about this offense. They're just plugging in Keaton Michelle, a practice squad guy, and he's running for a buck.
I mean, 8 touches.
It's just remarkable what this team is doing. They're getting healthy. Best receiving core Lamar's ever had, and they're always well coached. It always starts from the top down. So, yeah, I think they're the hottest team right now. I think it's them and the Chiefs in the AFC right now. So I got the Baltimore Ravens at number 3. I'll be there next week for Thursday Night Football. Can't wait.
Woo! Love that, Dill. At number 4, we got a new top 5 team, Dill. And I was going to stop at 5, but Dill, I got that feeling, Dill. Dill, give me the Cincinnati Bengals at number 4. I can't deny it, Dill. The last 2 weeks has been impressive. The offense is back and going. Joe Burrow's looking like, top 3 quarterback in football right now. That defense is playing much better than I anticipated. And Dill, like you said earlier, winners are 4 straight. And I think Joe Burrow, when he's at his best, he's right there with Patty Mahomes. Dill, give me the Bengals at number 4, and they coming.
At number 4, give me the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to hold the loss too much. They actually played better than I thought. If you were to tell me they lost 21-14, I'm like, wow, they played a pretty competitive game. And the way it was going, they could have gotten blown out, like I was saying. But I thought their defense actually played really well, taking away Travis Kelce, kind of made them one-dimensional. And the defense actually held Kansas City to 0 points in the second half. So defense finding some rhythm. You got a Kane coming back soon. I think the rushing and the offense is going to be fine. They do have a tough schedule coming up, but I think this offense is one of the best in the league. So when it becomes a shootout, I don't know if a lot of teams could hang around with them. So I do think the defense is getting better as well. So I still like the Dolphins. I'll take them at number 4.
Yeah, I respect it. Dill, at number 5, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not going to bump them out just because they had a bye week, Dill. I think they deserve the spot, and I think they'll be, coming out even better off the bye week and healthier. Hopefully we see Calvin really start, becoming more involved in the offense. I feel like the offense will take off, especially if he starts getting the ball a little more. Dill, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5. I had to keep them there.
Yeah, a team that was on a bye. Lions, I like them still. They're at number 5 for me. I think Jared Goff, he's really doing well. Besides that game against Baltimore, and looks like Baltimore's going to do that to a lot of quarterbacks this year. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs actually looking a little good, a little better.
Real quick, not to cut you off, though, but David Montgomery looking like he will play this Sunday. He might be limited, but he will be playing.
Yeah, big game this week as well. But, yeah, I just think this team is very well-rounded. Offensively, they're very balanced. You got a bunch of receivers. You got Sam Laporte. I think he's going to be healthy now. They had the bye. You got Jameson Williamson as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown as well. They're getting Montgomery back. This offense is like a fully oiled machine, and their defense, I think that's the biggest surprise. I think the defense for the Chiefs and for the Lions have kind of been the big surprises this season for those two respected teams. So I think the Lions are still one of the best teams in the NFC, so I got to have them at number 5.
Dill, same. I got the Detroit Lions at number 6 still. I'm not gonna bump them down off the bye week either, Dale. I'm gonna just echo everything you said. Jared Goff is playing at a high level. The defense, that's the key. That defense is playing much better than we anticipated. That defense was the only concern we had coming into the season, and they're surprising us. The offensive weaponry, Dale. Amon St. Brown Laporta is playing like he might win Offensive Rookie of the Year, honestly. And then you still got studs like Jameis Williams, who barely gets the ball. They added Donovan Peoples Jones. I think he might be an X factor, late in the season. And then like we said, Dale, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, who's past 2 weeks been playing really great. And then you have David Montgomery, who's coming off injury. Before he got injured, he was running like a fucking bus. So I just feel like this Lions team can be special. Give me the Lions at 6.
Yeah, at number 6, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off their bye. They've won they didn't lose since that loss against the Texans. They won 5 in a row. They dominated Atlanta. They beat Buffalo on the road, and that was the London game. Come back home, they beat Indianapolis. They beat New Orleans on the road. Then back-to-back road spots. Then they go and beat a tough Pittsburgh defense. Got a tough game. Excuse me, at home this week against the 49ers. This is going to be a prove-it game, but I like this offense sitting at 6-2. They're a legit team in the AFC. I like the Jaguars here at number 6.
Still, at number 7, bump them down a little bit. I feel like they played great. Give me the Dallas Cowboys at number 7, Dale. I feel like they played well enough to win the game. If the rookie tight end his knee is just 4 inches to the right, maybe we're having a different discussion right now, Dale. But I like the Cowboys. I think their defense is solid. I understand Philly, kind of did their thing against them, but I think the defense is still solid. And arguably, we saw one of Dak Prescott's best games. Even though they didn't result in the win, he played. It wasn't his fault they lost. So give me the Dallas Cowboys at number 7.
Yeah, at number 7 for me. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals into my top 10. I mean, what more can I say about this offense? They're finally grooving, won 4 in a row. Then they get a nice, I wouldn't say easy game, but a good teaser spot this week against Texans. Looking to make it 6-3. I mean, it's the best division in football. Everyone's above 500 right now. Joe Burrow is finally healthy. That defense is actually playing better than a lot of people expected. Offensive line is holding up for Joe Burrow this year, finally not getting sacked as much. As long as Jamar Chase could come back, maybe they don't need him this week, but come back for the final stretch of the season, I think this team's going to be just fine. They're a top 5 team in the AFC right now. Give me the Bengals at number 7.
Dale, at number 8, give me the Miami Dolphins. I wanted to put this team higher, Dale, but at the end of the day, they can't beat a team that's over 500, Dale, and that's really concerning. I like the way they played against the Chiefs, especially on the defensive side in the second half. They locked them down. I seen Tua make that third quarter comeback, Dale. It just wasn't enough. I feel like they poorly executed, especially down the stretch. I feel like they could have done a little better. But, I still like them. It's just they got to prove it a little more to me, especially against some of these better teams in the AFC. But give me the Dolphins at number 8.
Yeah, at number 8 for me. They were on a bye, didn't move them at all. Give me the San Francisco 49ers. Got healthy. I think their defense is going to play a lot better in the second half of the season. Brock Purdy went back home. He was farming in the cornfields in Iowa, cleared his mind. I think he's all right now. And little look ahead spot. I think they actually dominate this game on the road against Jacksonville this week. Get right spot for them. I think they'll be just fine. Kyle Shanahan and the boys are going to be playing. Give me San Francisco at number 8.
Dill, give me the 49ers at number 9. I'm kind of surprised that they're this low, Dill, but before the bye week loses to 3 straight. The team honestly haven't looked the same without Deebo Samuel. Hopefully he comes back this Sunday, and I'm pretty sure the offense will pick back up right where they left off when they were 5-0. The defense, for some reason, hasn't been, that top 5 defense the last 3 weeks. I think they'll make their way back into there. I expect a lot more from this 49ers team, more than the first 5 weeks in the last 3 weeks. Give me the 49ers at number 9.
Yeah, at number 9. Give me the Dallas Cowboys. Good fought game, came up a little short. Dak Prescott kind of stepped out on that 2-point conversion, but from anyone playing football, when you're just running and you think you're going to be able to get it, it's a tough. I saw a lot of people criticize Dak for that, and I just don't think that's his fault. But I thought the Dallas offense actually looked really good, and if you can't stop CeeDee Lamb, I mean, your defense is going to have a long night because he's going to torch you all night. So, like this offense, I still think they could add another piece or two, but defense playing well. I think this is a great spot. They're minus 17.5 this week against the Giants at home. So, should be a massacre. But yeah, give me Dallas at number 9.
Still at number 10. It was a toss-up, but you know what? After the performance, I have to give it to the Cleveland Browns. Winning, I understand, against the Arizona Cardinals, but 27-0, still impressive against the NFL team. That defense, we know what they're capable of doing. Is the only question to me is, can Deshaun Watson be consistent? He had a great game Sunday in his return from the injury deal. Can he play like that week in and week out? Amari Cooper had himself a game. David Njoku had a nice game. I just feel like I like the running game as well with Ford and Kareem Hunt, 1-2 punch. It's just, can Deshaun Watson be consistent? Can he go back to his MVP level? That's the one question I have still. But give me the Browns at number 10 for now.
100% agree. I got the Brownies at number 10. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it was the Cardinals. Regardless, beating an NFL team 27-0 is still impressive in itself. So I got to do it. Amari Cooper finally had a breakout game. Hopefully he could stay consistent as well. You're a little more hopeful on the run game. I don't think they run it as much as I anticipated they would do under Kevin Stefanski. They bring in Kareem Hunt, who kind of knows the playbook. They just don't run the ball as much. Maybe it's because they've been down a lot and they're forced to pass. But hopefully Deshaun Watson could stay healthy. This defense, they'll keep you in games. But offense just needs to give you 20, 21 points, and I think this team will be just fine. But yeah, a tough game this week. They're on the road against the Baltimore Ravens, and they're 6-point underdog. So we'll see there. Lamar is going to have something to say about that. They already beat them once this season, but it was without Deshaun Watson. So we will see. But yeah, I got the Browns. You said it was a toss-up. Who was close? Who would you put at 11?
I like the Seahawks still. The Bills. Still respect the Bills, even though, they've been disappointing. Right. Those two teams, really, they were close. And then, I respect the Steelers. And to be honest, though, this one team I wanted to put up there, but I'm not going to put them there yet, though. The Vikings. With Dobbs, he was able to come in, dice them up late, though. Let them get involved in their offense. That defense is playing pretty well since week 3, Dill. Let's just be honest. Brian Flores got those guys going. The Vikings are in the mix of things, people.
Yeah, 100%. I had the Vikings at 13. I put Seahawks at 11 and Buffalo at 12. So.
Oh, we are aligned. We're aligned. 10,
I think the only biggest difference between yours and mine is I put the Dolphins at 4. Yeah, the Dolphins. Yeah. And
I got the Bengals
Cincinnati.
At 4. Yeah.
You're a little higher on them than I am, but rightfully so.
Remind the people who said Cincinnati was going to win the division and make a run 2 years ago. Remind the people. I called it early.
Elvis, love our rankings. I think they're pretty aligned and pretty not biased as well either. I dropped the Jets to about 28th. I'm not gonna lie.
That's wild. Are the Patriots ahead of them?
No, can't be. No. They're 2-7.
We beat y'all though.
But, yeah, I mean anybody could beat us. It wouldn't surprise me if we lost every game, to be honest. But Elvis, before we get into it's funny, real quick on a side note, my parents were like, oh, what do you want for Christmas, this, that, and the third? And I said, this is before the game, by the way, mind you, before Monday Night Football. I said, oh, give me jet tickets or, get me Devil or tickets to go see the Knicks at the Garden. They're like, oh, the Garden's kind of expensive. I was like, okay, give me jet tickets. And this was before the game. And then after the game, I go, don't even waste your money. No, don't even waste your money. Like I don't want to go because Elvis and I, to break the fourth wall a little bit, you and I were thinking about going to the game. Tickets were only like around $100, and Elvis, I would have looked at you and said, we need to leave now. It was that bad. But before we get to our picks for this week, and a quick word from our sponsor, we are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. Boy, did I have a lot of Vivas on Monday night. It's no wonder why Viva was voted number 1 hard seltzer in the World by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. It's light. It only has 4.5 ABV, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar. Viva is literally the perfect drink for your post-game celebration if your team's a winner, not like the Jets. They flavored their tequila salsa because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry to get you through Thursday night between the Panthers and the Bears, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanca tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, E, let's get to it. Thursday night football in beautiful Chicago, Illinois at Soldier Field. The Bears are hosting the Carolina Panthers. Right now, the Bears are minus 3-point favorites at home. I see 3.5s out there, so shop around your books. The book that I'm using right now is at 3, but I do see 3.5s. Money line minus 176 for the Chicago Bears, plus 148 on the buyback for the Carolina Panthers. Over under is at 39. I see 38.5s out there, so money is coming in on the under. We'll start here with the side, kid. I'll let you lead it off. What are you feeling here?
Dale, to be honest, this is an ugly matchup. Personally, I like the plus 3.5 just because, I feel like it'll be a close game. At the end of the day, is Justin Fields starting the game or is it going to be Tyler Haglett? Because Justin Fields.
Tyson,
yeah.
No, he's starting. Yeah, no, he got ruled out today.
Yeah, that's the thing, Dale. I like the Chicago offense a little. Not to say Justin Fields. I'm just saying the past 2 weeks, the offense has been flowing. I like the fact that the kid could do it with his arms and his legs, just like Justin Fields. He's just not as talented, Dale. To be honest, I like Chicago to possibly win the game, but Dale, I think Carolina could keep it close and cover the 3.5. I think it could be a field goal game. Do I expect Carolina to put up a ton of points on the road? Absolutely not. But do I expect Chicago to lay 20 plus as well? I'm not confident in it. So do I see it, I think Carolina losing a close one, like a 17-14 game, possibly 14-10. But they won't cover there. I don't see a lot of points being scored.
Yeah, hold your nose, kid. I'm actually going to take the 3.5 here with the Panthers.
Yeah, Dale, let's go.
Like I said, Justin Fields was ruled out, so Tyson Bagent will get the start. He's coming off a 3-interception game last week. Not the best. He kind of forced things a little bit in the second half, but Chicago also leads the league in penalties over the last 3 weeks. They have over 78 yards in penalties per game. Like, they are self-inflicting wounds. They Khalil Herbert, the running back in the backfield. He might be a little challenge for them. They have Devontae Foreman as well. But, when there's multiple running backs in the mix, same thing with the Jets and with Dalvin Cook, it could lead to a clear cut, uneven distribution in the running back room. So Chicago, they haven't been more than a field goal favorite since 2021. And it's not a team you really want to lay points with. I get that they're home, but I know a lot of people are out on Bryce Young. He didn't really have the greatest weeks last week against Indiana. He had 2 pick six against the same guy. Same guy had 2 pick six. So what a week for him. But, I just can't pass up fading the Bears plus 3.5 with Bagent on a short week. Chicago, they have one of the worst pass defenses and secondaries in all of football. I feel like if Bryce Young can burn this secondary on a short week, it's likely that they might actually win this game, especially the Bears. They're generating the lowest amount of pressure against quarterbacks at 15% in the whole league. They don't get pressure, so Bryce Young will be able to sit back and target Adam Thielen or anybody of his receivers. So, Carolina's defense, they also didn't play all that bad. They held the Colts to just 3.5 yards per play and 2.6 yards per rush. It was those 2 pick sixes that really blew the game away. But you take away those 2 pick sixes, that the Carolina's defense didn't play all that bad. So give me the 3.5. If it was 3 and it drops, I kind of would lay off. I like the hook. It kind of, like you said, a 17-14 game we wind up covering. But yeah, I locked it in. Give me the Carolina Panthers. This one fucking stinks. Plus 3.5. You mentioned low scoring game. You mentioned 20-17, 20-16, 17-14. You lean under.
Still, you gotta lean under, like you said. You saw the rookie last week throw 3 interceptions. We saw the down season Bryce Young is having. He hasn't been putting up points still. I know he beat Houston. That was even a low scoring game. So I just don't see Bryce Young and the Panthers putting up more than 17 realistically, and I see Chicago peaking at 20. Peaking at 20.
Yeah, like I said, Carolina's defense has played well. The numbers come down. The line opened up around 41.5. It's down.
I would have smashed the 41.5.
Now it's 39. I even see 38.5 out there. So
it's down at 38.5.
Yeah. So I just can't see either offense putting together multiple touchdown drives. Especially on a Thursday night, short week for the quarterback Tyson Bagent. If both teams could avoid turnovers that turn into immediate points, the short week, I think the under could be kind of sweatless. I see like a 17-14 type of game.
The only way this game goes over if there's like a pick six or a strip sack.
Yeah.
If there's a defensive touchdown or even like a kick return, then the game is going over. But if you're telling me both offenses have to drive 60 yards plus to put a field goal or a touchdown, it's not going to happen.
The under. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lean under here like you as well. As for the player prop market, you got Bryce Young, Tyson Bagent, maybe you want to look at. I mentioned maybe any of the running backs, Chuba Hubbard. You got Devontae Foreman. Any player props that you're looking towards?
I took 2. One I'm really confident in. One I'm kind of taking a flyer on just because he's the new starter. I'm going to take Hubbard over 41.5 rushing yards at minus 110. He's 2 weeks ago, he was given the starting position, and I just feel like it's going to be a close game. They're going to run the ball. I'm confident to say if it's not a pick six to start the game, I don't see them being down double digits at any time in this game. So I feel like they're going to be always in position to win. So they're going to rely on the running game more, not on the rookie quarterback on the road. So I like Herbert over 41.5 rushing yards. And then I'm going to take the tight end for Chicago, Kmet. He's went over this receiving prop 6 out of 8 games this season thus far, This is one I'm really confident in. Give me Kmet over 34.5 receiving yards at minus 117. We saw him have that 2 touchdown day, I just feel like he makes a couple plays. And at the end of the day, what's the quarterback's best friend, especially a young one? The tight end. I think he dumps it to him a couple of times and hits him down the field a couple of times. Give me him over.
That first touchdown Cole Kmet had
was nice.
Might be one of the catches of the year. I mean, that was fucking beautiful by him. Yeah, love that one. I got 2 as well, and sorry, I was looking at him. Schefter just tweeted, says, turns out Jamar Chase is not the only injured Bengals wide receiver. T. Higgins was also limited, as well as Tyler Boyd.
Damn. They got smoked.
It was a hard game at home. But yeah, kind of aligned with your rushing prop with Chuba Hubbard. I'm going to take anytime touchdown, plus 155 for Hubbard. He has a big role on this offense. They got a new coordinator. Frank Wright isn't calling the plays. It's Thomas Brown who's called the plays. And we've seen him kind of run the ball a little more with Chuba Hubbard. Miles Sanders, he's kind of been on the back burn. He's kind of developed, more in the second half. And when they're trailing, I just don't think they're going to be going to Miles Sanders. And if Carolina does get into the red zone, they're going to play things conservatively. And Chuba Herbert last week had all the red zone carries. I think that continues. I think they get in the end zone. Give me Chuba Herbert anytime touchdown at plus 155. And I'm going to stay on this Carolina side. Give me Bryce Young over 215.5 passing yards. He's only once had a QBR rating over 100, and that was in their win against the Texans a few weeks ago. He's had nearly as many picks as he does touchdowns, and he's only had multiple passing touchdowns in one game this season. But doesn't matter. We're not going to the touchdown prop. I think we could double down against this Bears defense. They've allowed 2.5 passing touchdowns per game this season. He's only converted this number in 3 of 7 games this season, but in all 3 of those games, he's been with Young's 4 previous games. So I think we've seen kind of improvement from him. Out of those 4 games, he's actually improved. He's throwing a lot now because they've always been down. But I feel like this isn't really a bet on Young. It's more of a fade on the Chicago's defense. The Bears simply cannot defend the pass at all. They're only 1 of 4 team in the NFL that have allowed more passing yards per game than 256 yards by the Bears. So, I know that that's averagely higher than Young's passer line, but even in a shaky offensive line and, a lack of, I guess, talent on offense for this passing offense, I still think we could get over this number. So I feel like the line is a little low, 215. I'm going to go over Bryce Young, 215 and a half. What are your thoughts on those player props?
I like it, Dill, just because, like you said, the Bears can't really put pressure on the quarterback. They understand they added Sweat, but is Sweat going to be every down lineman? I know he just got there. Is he going to be every down, or is he just going to be in there, first, second, and then get off the field on the third? So I like it, though, just because, like you said, he has been playing better as of late, and it's a solo Thursday night stage. And at the end of the day, I feel like when you look across and you're going against Hadget, you're confident. You're like, I'm the better quarterback on the field, So I think that has something to do with it as well.
Yes, sir. Elvis, good luck. Hopefully. By the way, I forgot to mention record for week 10 for me. Week 9, I went 8-7. We could have had a really good week. I went 0-3 for Monday Night Football. We could have had an interception. He dropped it.
Yeah.
Adrian Amos, he dropped the pick, but got there. Jets never stood a chance at +3.5. And Breece Hall, he went over literally his receiving yards twice, and both times got called back for penalties. So it was just doomed from the start, kid. 0-3 on Monday Night Football, but we still finished above 500, 8-7 on the week. How did you do?
Still had my best week thus far, 9-3. Should have been 10-2, like you said. At most drops there in this session, but it's okay. We got there with Justin Herbert over. Besides the props, still I hit all my plays, so that was good. Had a great week. Let's just follow it up. 9-3. Let's go.
Seeing the board well. I love it. Elvis, good luck on Thursday night. Hopefully it's an entertaining game. I know it's 2 of the worst teams in the league, but hopefully we're still able to cash some tickets and make some money. Let's transition over to the hardwood. We got a lot of games here in the NBA tonight. I'll let you rattle it off, and I think I have one play. I'm more on the college side, but Elvis, take it away. You are NBA guru. What do you got tonight?
Still, that's why we have to. I handle NBA, you handle college. Still, you gotta love it. People, let's start it off. 7:00 start. Washington Wizards taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Still, 2 bad teams, but still, I think we were both on the right side. Washington doesn't look very good. I think Charlotte's just a little better. Give me the Hornets at home, -135 on the money line. Money is coming in with Washington. The line has dropped down to -131. People, I like them at home. Give me the Hornets. Still, Boston Celtics taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Still, this is going to be a marquee matchup of the night. Still, I think it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. Give me the under 227. I just feel like both teams are going to lock up, especially in the fourth quarter. Going to be a defensive battle. Holiday.
Total Elvis.
Yeah, still, I hit on the Miami Lakers under. I'm coming right back at you with another one. Give me the under in that game. Still, the Clippers coming into the Brooklyn Nets. Still, I'm going to take my Brooklyn Nets at home +4.5. James Harden. I like James Harden getting into the lineup. I want to see him play a little more, but somehow, this Clippers team ain't clicking. I feel like they could possibly beat us still. I do think we're underdogs, but I like the +4.5. Give me the Brooklyn Nets +4.5 at home. Still, this line didn't make sense to me at all, and it keeps going up. Let me check the lineups and injuries one last time. That's why it went up. Still, regardless, I'm going to take it. Give me the New Orleans Pelicans +9 on the road.
Zion's having his kid today.
Yeah, I had the +7.5. Zion just was ruled out. He's having a kid, like you said. I'm going to still take the +9. I think this Pelicans team is really good, and I think they're much better defensively than Minnesota.
Really good? That's a stretch. They're good.
Good. They're good. They're good.
Really good?
They're good, Dill. I just feel like they could possibly slow down Minnesota in that offense. Give me the Pelicans +9 on the road.
Anything else?
No, I got a few, Dill. We got a few, Dill. Moving on, Dill. To me, this is a game as a fan you want to keep your eye on. Dill, the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Houston Rockets. Dill, give me LeBron James over points, rebounds, and assists, 41.5. Dylan Brooks already saying, "Oh, I'm gonna lock him up, bro. You're not gonna lock nobody up." And especially AD, he's a little, he's injured with the hip. He's saying he's gonna play, but how effective is AD is gonna be? I feel like LeBron's gonna pick up the slack and have a huge game. I'm gonna say 28, 10, and 8. And give me the Lakers on the money line as well. I think they get their first road win of the season. They haven't got one yet. Give me the Lakers -142 on the money line. Yo, give me the young OKC team at home. Cleveland Cavaliers. For some reason, they've been a little sluggish. I'm gonna just say sluggish. No Darius Garland. I think that's why. But they'll give me the OKC +2.5 at home. And to be honest, I think you got to sprinkle something on the money line. And then my last game of the day, we going to the winless Memphis Grizzlies still, which is, if you're in Memphis right now, you can get tickets as low as $4 to witness a winless team. Give me the Miami Heat on the money line, -118 on the road.
Elvis, good luck. A lot of good plays I liked. I was thinking about, honestly, earlier taking Houston +4.5, just because, like you said, they haven't won on the road yet. I do like a player prop, Andrew Wiggins over 3.5 rebounds tonight.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's
too.
low.
Yeah.
He's gone over this in 3 straight. He had 6 last game against Detroit. He had 5 against OKC and 5 against Cleveland as well. So I thought 3.5 was just really low. I think he could go over that. Other games I was looking at, I was thinking about taking Boston -2.5. I think they're one of the best teams. I know it's on the road, but Boston just has Philly's number. Yeah, I like the Charlotte play. Wizards are the second worst team. They might be the worst team besides Memphis, but thinking about Miami -1.5 as well. Why is Phoenix only +1? Who's sitting out again?
Bradley Beal.
Booker's out and Bradley Beal
is questionable.
So
shocker.
He's not going to play. A very interesting game, like you mentioned, Cleveland and OKC, home puppies. I was going to ask you, but you mentioned it. I would sprinkle a little on the money line, +2.5. Yeah. I think this is a young team at home. They play really well, and they play up to their competition. So other than that, any thoughts on this Dallas game? Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you touch this game?
No, I didn't. Though I'll lean the -4.5 with Dallas. At home. Surprisingly, Dallas is playing very, very well. I just feel like -4.5 at home. Toronto has been pesky. They're playing much better than I anticipated. I thought this team was going to be one of the worst teams in the league, believe it or not. But I just feel like Toronto could possibly keep it close, just because I feel like the Dallas Mavericks are overachieving. Right? I could be wrong, Dill, but to me, 6-1, that's too good for that team.
Yeah, I actually found a player prop in this game, and I was gonna go to him. It's on Dallas' side. It's your boy Kyrie Irving. Give me over 6.5 assists. It's at plus money, +105. We've seen since he's come in, his assists has just ballooned this season. He's averaging 7.8 dimes on the season. He's gotten 6 assists in every game this season. Toronto, yeah, they play at a little slower pace, but he's one of the most craftiest players we've seen, Kyrie. And I think his matchup against Dennis Schroeder. I like Dennis Schroeder. Don't get me wrong. He won the championship in the offseason with Germany. Shout out him. But I just think Kyrie's gonna dice him up. Over 6.5 at plus money. Yeah, give me Kyrie over 6.5 assists. Anything else on the NBA side, kid?
Nah, that's it, though. I didn't want to touch too many. I feel like I threw a lot out there. Let's just have a good day.
All right. I will take away with college basketball. Went 3-0 yesterday.
Yes,
so
sir.
We're doing well. Give me FAU -4.5 against Chicago, Illinois. Not a fan of Sister Jean and the 100-year-old. I'm basically fading her and the whole Chicago of Illinois. So FAU, top 10 team in the country. Don't sleep on the Owls. -4.5 on the road. +4.5 Arizona State Sun Devils against Mississippi State on the road. To be honest, I think the wrong team is favored. I like what I've seen from this Arizona team. I like what they did in the offseason in the transfer portal. I think Arizona State is actually the better team. I'll take the 4.5 in my pocket. And then the last play, no, he doesn't coach there anymore, but shout out Jackson State. I'm going to fade them. I'm going to take San Diego, University of San Diego at home on the money line over Jackson State. San Diego is just a much better team than Jackson State right now. And it's a pick 'em, but I think they should be a favorite, at least a 3 or 4 point favorite. I think down low they have the advantage on the boards as well. So only three plays on the hardwood, and I have those 2 props in the NBA. Elvis, that's gonna do it. Any last words before we get up out of here, kid?
Yo, let's just have another great night. I hope Thursday night football doesn't suck. You know, I understand we both lean the under. I'm not sure if you're going to take it officially, but I hope it don't go under, people. I just want to see an exciting game. Hopefully, Hubbard runs for like $122 tutties for me and you, Dill. And hopefully, Komet catches about another 2. You know, I want to see an exciting game, people, not a fucking shitter on a Thursday night.
And hopefully Bryce Young throws for 300. And then we'll all be good.
Bryce Young throws for 300. Hopefully he hits Hubbard as well, because I'm starting him against you in fantasy, buddy. Thank you for the anytime touchdown. Yes, sir. Yes. Now you panicking. You heard the voice change, people? I know they heard it.
Battle for first place. Me, you, and Big Bobby B. We're all in first place. I love to see it. May the best man win. That's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, we'll see you guys on Saturday. We'll recap Thursday Night Football, and we'll give you our best bets heading into a big weekend this week. Follow along our social media, Instagram and X at The Dream Wager. If you miss an episode, no problem. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, review, grab your mom, grab your sister phone, review on their phone. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well. And we'll see you guys down the road. Jets suck.